Man, I came here to win rings, not babysit anyone.
On January 13th, the Los Angeles Lakers weren't just losing a game to the Sacramento Kings. They were losing control. The final score said 124 to 112, but that wasn't the headline. The real explosion? It happened in the tunnel. Insiders claim that while fans were still reacting to the loss, chaos was already brewing behind the scenes. Word is a heated confrontation broke out between Rich Paul and the agent representing Austin Reaves, reportedly over whispers of a trade idea that would move Reaves just to keep Bronny in the rotation. That's not a small disagreement. That's career-altering territory.
Man, I came here to win rings, not babysit anyone.
If I was the Lakers, I would probably be targeting the Memphis Grizzlies as a trade partner for Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, that'd be a great fit.
I would.
For whom?
One scenario, right? Or you could say, let me withhold that, but this comes with
Austin Reaves.
This comes with a very unemotional attachment.
And it didn't stop there. Sources allege that LeBron James and JJ Redick had tension of their own brewing in the back halls. Veterans, frustrated and fed up, supposedly started pointing fingers at Bronny as the root of the problem. The locker room vibe shifted fast. One night, one loss. Suddenly, everything felt unstable. But here's where it turns wild. People close to the situation claim this all traces back to a message Bronny sent in the team group chat. A message that reportedly changed the mood inside that building completely. Before diving into that alleged text, let's rewind to the actual game. On paper, it was just another regular season loss. Bad defense, sloppy rotations, missed assignments. The Lakers looked out of sync and the Kings took full advantage. But the second those players walked toward the tunnel, the energy shifted. You could see it. Stiff body language, no eye contact, no usual post-game chatter. It felt different. Normally, drama like this stays locked behind locker room doors. But according to multiple reports and eyewitness accounts, including coverage from ESPN reporter Dave McMenamin, tensions were visible. Reggie Berry, the prominent representative for Austin Reaves, was reportedly already waiting in the tunnel area. And he wasn't there for casual conversation. Imagine being a fan courtside and watching two powerhouse agents in professional sports locked in a heated exchange before the players even hit the locker room. That's not typical post-game chatter. That's serious business. And here's why it matters. Reaves is approaching a potential max extension reportedly valued near $200 million. That's generational money, legacy-defining money. If there were even rumors of him being moved around to manage rotations, you can understand why emotions would run high. One loss turned into a tunnel showdown. One alleged message turned into a locker room fracture. And suddenly, what looked like a rough night on the scoreboard started looking like something much bigger behind the scenes.
I can't believe this, man. They just traded me to the worst franchise in NBA history.
They're going to move on, and I think that's the right thing to do. At some point, you got to turn the team over to Luka and Austin, and that's the only way you can start, because you can't be paying him $50 million a year to be the third best player on a team.
I wanted Luka to be the first signee of Team LeBron when he was going through his situation. And it didn't happen. He's still under the same umbrella of Nike's with Jordan, but I wanted him.
The money on the table wasn't small. We're talking franchise-changing, legacy-defining cash for Austin Reaves. And according to whispers around the league, Reaves' camp was furious. The accusation? That Rich Paul was quietly pushing moves behind the scenes that could hurt Reaves' standing, all to make sure Bronny James kept his spot in the rotation. That's not just office politics. That's war over the future of the team. Now you're probably thinking, how does Bronny even factor into this, especially when Reaves had been dealing with injury issues and wasn't even fully active? That's where things start to twist. Because the belief from some insiders wasn't about minutes in one game. It was about long-term positioning. Who gets developed, who gets showcased, who gets pushed as the next guy. And when that kind of money is involved, agents don't play nice. But the agents nearly coming to blows in the tunnel? That might have been just the surface drama. Because while security was stepping in, something even bigger was reportedly unfolding behind closed locker room doors. Word is LeBron James confronted JJ Redick directly about a clause buried inside Redick's agreement with the Los Angeles Lakers. And allegedly, it was something Luka was never supposed to know about. To really understand why tensions hit that level, you have to rewind to November 15th. The Lakers faced the Milwaukee Bucks, and on paper, it looked like a huge night. Luka exploded for 41 points. The Lakers secured the win. Fans celebrated. Headlines praised the performance. But the box score didn't tell the full story. Look closer at the rotation. Bronny started that game, 10 minutes on the floor, 0 for 2 shooting, 0 points, minimal impact. That's not just a quiet night. On a contender with championship expectations, every possession matters. Every minute matters. And here's where critics got loud. Luka is 26, right in his prime, chasing MVP-level dominance. When you're operating at that level, you expect the lineup around you to function smoothly. Yet that night, when Bronny was on the court, the team's net rating reportedly dipped hard. Even in a win, the numbers told a different story. The Lakers weren't necessarily thriving in those stretches. They were surviving them. Insiders claim that during that game, Redick reached a breaking point. Frustration boiled over on the sidelines. He reportedly yelled at Bronny to take the open shot before eventually pulling him from the game. That moment, according to some around the team, shattered an unspoken understanding. Because here's the rumor that's fueling everything, that LeBron had significant influence in bringing Redick into the fold, with the expectation that Bronny would be developed in real time alongside Luka. Not in garbage minutes, not quietly, but visibly, consistently. A long-term project running parallel to a championship chase.
It's going to haunt me a little bit.
It's going to haunt you.
But I wanted him to be my guy. I wanted him to be my first guy.
Hey.
And if that balance started to crack on November 15th, it makes a lot more sense why January 13th turned into total chaos. When development plans collide with title expectations, someone always feels betrayed. And in this case, it wasn't subtle. It was loud. It was public. And it was messy. After that game against the Milwaukee Bucks, something shifted for good. When JJ Redick watched the Bucks repeatedly target Bronny on defense, his coach brain kicked in. Development is one thing, winning is another. And in that moment, he realized he couldn't protect a long-term project and close out a tight game at the same time. That's a brutal spot for any coach. Then came the interview that blew everything open. Luka sat down and made it crystal clear. He said he's here to win championships, not babysit anyone. And if a player needs development, that's what the G League is for. Simple, direct, no sugarcoating. That one comment reportedly split the locker room in half. LeBron James wasn't even active that night due to sciatica, but sources claim he still confronted Redick afterward. Not calmly, not casually. This was emotional, this was protective. It wasn't just about rotations anymore. It became Team Luka versus Team Clutch, and everyone inside the Los Angeles Lakers could feel it. According to the rumor mill, Rich Paul quickly understood something important. If Luka publicly resisted the development plan, LeBron's leverage inside the building weakened. So instead of making an obvious move like suggesting a Bronny trade, which would look like failure, Paul allegedly shifted tactics. On January 13th, the same night the Lakers lost to the Sacramento Kings, Paul went on his Game Over podcast and started talking about Austin Reeves, not praising him, framing him as an asset. That word matters. Asset means movable, replaceable. He argued that if the Lakers wanted to improve Luka's defensive support, they should consider flipping Reeves for a defensive anchor like Jaren Jackson Jr. On the surface, that sounds like strategy, but insiders read it differently. They saw it as pressure. The message, according to critics, felt like this: fall in line, or your closest ally gets moved. Psychological chess at the highest level. The idea wasn't to trade Bronny, it was to isolate Luka, to show him that the environment around him could change fast, that relationships were conditional, that power still sat with certain people in that building. That's what allegedly led to the heated exchange between Rich Paul and Reggie Berry in the tunnel. Reeves' camp wasn't about to let their client become leverage in a bigger internal struggle. But here's where it gets even more explosive, because Luka's frustration reportedly ran deeper than minutes and rotations. Months earlier, something happened that shifted his trust entirely. It wasn't about playing time, it was about respect. And it traces back to one leaked team group chat message sent by Bronny. That message, according to whispers around the league, exposed internal information before it was supposed to go public. And to understand why that hit so hard, you have to rewind to February 1st, 2025, the day the Luka for Anthony Davis trade became reality. The move was meant to be tightly controlled. According to A Hollywood Ending by Joran Weitzman, the front office wanted players informed directly, privately, professionally. But before that could happen, a tweet from Shams Charania broke the news publicly, and allegedly, Bronny saw it first. Instead of waiting for management, the report claims he dropped the tweet straight into the team group chat. Just like that. If true, that wasn't just breaking news, that was breaking trust. And in a locker room built on hierarchy and respect, timing like that matters more than people realize. Once that trust cracks, it doesn't fully come back. So no, the tunnel altercation in January wasn't just about one bad loss. It was the result of months of tension, power struggles, and quiet resentment finally boiling over. And if you only focus on the box score, you're missing the real story entirely. That handshake snub, that wasn't some random cold moment. That was a warning shot. Because if you followed LeBron James for more than 5 minutes, you know one thing. He does not enjoy playing second fiddle. And last year, for the first time in over 2 decades, the vibe around the Los Angeles Lakers didn't just feel different, it collapsed.
Draymond Green basically turned into a clutch PR bot overnight, trashing Stephen A. Smith on his podcast.
Let's talk numbers because numbers don't lie. LeBron's usage rate dipped to around 28%. For a role player, that's normal. For LeBron, that's a public demotion. That's the basketball equivalent of being told, you're not the engine anymore. And for someone who has built an empire on being the engine, that hits deep. Instead of quietly embracing the shift and letting a 26-year-old superstar take the wheel, the media tone changed fast. Every post-game press conference turned into a subtle campaign. LeBron leaned into the mic talking about sacrifice, about how he's adjusting, about how he's bending his game for the team. It started sounding less like leadership and more like a reminder tour. The subtext was clear. Luka is scoring 33 a night, but only because I'm allowing it. That's the energy people started picking up. And that's a dangerous narrative when the locker room is already split. Then came the quote that really set things on fire. After tensions with JJ Redick were already bubbling, LeBron went on ESPN and dropped this line. If we're depending on a 41-year-old to be our best defender, we're in trouble. That wasn't random commentary. That felt pointed. Because when you say that publicly while Luka is carrying the offense and playing heavy minutes, it lands like criticism. It sounds like you're questioning the defensive effort of the league's MVP-level guy while cameras are rolling. That's not subtle. That's strategic. And here's where it gets awkward. During that stretch, Bronny's defensive rating hovered around 120. That's not elite. That's rough. He was playing limited minutes, about 7 to 8 a game, and opponents were attacking him consistently. Yet the media heat wasn't aimed there. It was aimed upward. Luka is logging 38 minutes, carrying the scoring load, absorbing pressure, and still hearing passive shots from the podium. That builds resentment fast, especially when it feels like the criticism is selective. Then March 6th, 2025 happened at Madison Square Garden, and the tension spilled into public view. Stephen A. Smith had criticized Bronny's performance on First Take. Standard analysis. Harsh maybe, but part of the job. During a Lakers-Knicks game, LeBron walked toward him courtside mid-game. Cameras caught the exchange. Words were exchanged. Security shifted closer. The energy wasn't playful. It was intense. It felt personal. That moment shifted the media climate overnight. Suddenly, criticizing Bronny didn't just feel like analysis. It felt risky. And when media figures like Draymond Green started defending the family publicly on podcasts, the divide got louder. Some saw loyalty, others saw a protection circle forming. Then came February 5th, trade deadline day. While contenders were stacking depth pieces for a playoff push, the Lakers made a quieter move. Gabe Vincent out, Luke Kennard in. On paper, it's shooting, floor spacing, fine. But insiders were buzzing about defensive help. Rumors swirled around Draymond Green potentially being involved in multi-team talks. Nothing materialized. And for Luka supporters, it felt like a missed opportunity to add grit. From that moment, whispers started. Is the front office prioritizing flexibility around the family dynamic instead of fully optimizing around the new franchise centerpiece? Then came the symbolic shift. All-star voting. For the first time in 23 years, LeBron wasn't voted in as a starter. Let that sink in. The face of the league for 2 decades became a reserve. Meanwhile, Luka didn't just make it. He led the entire voting count with over 3.8 million votes. and the 2026 All-Star Game. It's at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Billboards, promotions, social feeds. The 26-year-old Slovenian is front and center. The torch isn't being handed over quietly. It's being taken in broad daylight. For someone who has lived at the top for 20-plus years, watching that shift happen in your own city, that's heavy. That's emotional. That's legacy-level pressure. And when you combine locker room splits, media jabs, trade tension, public confrontations, and all-star symbolism, it paints a bigger picture. This isn't about one bad game. It's about power shifting in real time. And in the NBA, when power shifts, nothing stays calm for long.